Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut and I'm joined by Boria Mukundar and Shubhayan Chakraborty. Today is an important day not just for Vinesh Fogart but also wrestling as a sport. After filing a plea in hopes to win back her silver medal after being disqualified from the Paris Olympics due to being overweight by close to 100 grams, Vinesh will now hear the verdict today. We have been reporting on all the details since the news broke, and today in this show, we're going to discuss the 5 reasons why this verdict can still swing in Vinesh Fogart's favor. Over to Boria first. Boria, this is an incredibly important verdict that can possibly change the landscape of wrestling when it comes to the future. What do you think the verdict is going to be like?
See, it is difficult to predict what the verdict will be like, but let me just give you. Abhijit also joins us. Let me just first give you. Rohan also joins us from Paris. So we've got a full house. Let me give you a couple of very important points. One, there will be a press conference kind of thing virtually, which Shubha and yourself, me, all of us will attend. Mr. Salve will address the press soon after the verdict is out. That's what I've been told. So there will be a joint press conference done by the Indian Olympic Association and Mr. Harish Salve. So that's point number one. Point number two, uh, at this point in time, if you actually ask me, and I yesterday when I was on my way back, and my flight was from Dubai at about 3 a.m. in the morning, I was actually, I was actually all night talking to people in Paris, trying to understand where we are. There are 2 points here, Gandhi. One, something that I told you all yesterday, that Nenad Lalovic and the UWW is constantly throwing the rule book at India, saying according to the rules, Vinesh doesn't get the medal. And he's right. According to the rules, Vinesh doesn't get the medal. Correct, fair point. Point taken. Now, according to the rules, the repechage is played by the person who loses to the finalist. So if that is the case, how is it that Susaki plays the repechage? Because Vinesh is a disqualified wrestler. Vinesh is last in that ranking. According to rules, Susaki should never have played the repechage. Susaki can only play the repechage if you guys agree that Vinesh is the finalist. Only then can Susaki play. If Vinesh is not the finalist and the Cuban Guzman Lopez is the finalist, then someone who has lost to Guzman Lopez should play the repechage. Why Susaki? So how is it that this rule is fine by UWW? Now, if the person who has lost to Guzman Lopez comes forward and says, "Hello, you have done injustice to me. I should have played the repechage. Why is it that the Japanese girl is playing the repechage? She is undeserving because the Indian has been disqualified." So where is the rule that UWW can stand on? I don't think UWW has that rule to stand on because there is utter confusion there. Number two, and this is equally critical, I don't think that people know that the Indians have also gone and spent a lot of time with the medical commission because the medical commission has independently submitted a report as well. What is the thing that the medical commission is all about? Now, the Olympic Games is about solidarity, about values, about human rights. Now, according to wrestling, or so people can go to any extreme. If I tell you, I will tell you one fact now. I'm under promise to. By the way, I know the full hour by hour sequence of that night, and it is a thriller. I promise our viewers that the moment the verdict is out, all of us will get on a show, and I will give you hour by hour by hour what happened that night, and you all will be blown. I've promised that I to Vinesh's team, to everyone, that I will not say this before the verdict is out. I'll give you one thing, and you will understand how it was. Abhijit was there with me. So when Vinesh came to the mix zone, there was Abhijit, myself, Trisha, and Sharmishta. So I was standing alone. Vinesh came. There were two others Indian journalists, or three other Indian journalists. So they also wished her. They were left to me. Vinesh then saw me, and obviously she's a friend of mine. She walked up to me, shook my hand, said, "Sir, kal kuch bhi baat karte hain, wait dena," and she rushed. By the time, and the wrestling very arena was such that there was this long corridor in the mix zone, so you have to cross that corridor to go into your weight place. So by the time Vinesh had reached the end of that corridor, Shorvishta and Trisha were walking in through the gate. So it happened like this: Vinesh walking from this side, these two walking from this side. That's when we took the photos. Now let me tell you this. You know what happened? Because in the village there was a wrestling arena. How do the wrestlers cut their weight? The wrestlers generally cut their weight by grappling with the coach. They spar with the coach in a manner that sweat comes out, exhaustion happens, weight cut happens. That's how they do it. Now, Vinesh and her support team, Vinesh's team knew that in the village, the wrestling arena would get shut by 10 p.m. So she won't have that opportunity. So what she did was within 20 minutes of that bout getting over, she actually went to check her weight. It was 52.7, and they started grappling. They started sparring there with the coach for an hour within 20 minutes of that bout getting over. And they did that for 1 hour. They did that for 1 hour within 20 minutes of a semi-final bout getting over. That's when they cut their weight a little bit. Then they went to the village. Also, let me tell you this. They went to the village, and by that time the wrestling arena was shut. So because the wrestling arena was shut, she had no opportunity to go and grapple and wrestle and reduce weight. So she had to go to the gym. She had to go to the gym to do skipping, running, jogging, and all the other things and exercise to reduce weight. Now, the gym was so highly, the air condition was chilly. Now the sweat wasn't coming out. The sweat wasn't coming because the air condition was so high that there Gagan Narang, who all were there? Gagan was there, Vinesh's team was there. I think Dr. Padiwala was also there. They switched the air condition off. They opened the windows of the gym. And that is when she started to skip and run and jog and do everything. But had she been given the arena in the village, she would have got it down. That's when, and they grapple wearing the sauna suit. So the wrestler wears the sauna suit and starts sparring with the coach. So more sweat comes out of the body. She wasn't able to do that in the village. And in the village, the air condition in that gym was so high that automatically the chill reduced the sweat from coming out because it's chilly. So everything started. And by the way, the third point, and beyond this, I won't say. The third point was she was premenstrual. So automatically there was water intake in the body. So every damn thing that could go wrong went wrong. You did not give her the wrestling arena in the village, you shut it down. You did not give her the gym proper because the air condition was so high that they had to close it, do this, open the window, and all that. Finally, she was premenstrual, as I said, so the water intake in the body, had it been at the end of the periods, then automatically the body would be far lighter. If you ask any medical doctor, you will be able to know. Finally, the sauna wasn't open till 5 a.m. in the morning. It wasn't in the village. It wasn't open till 5 a.m. in the morning in the village. It wasn't. So, boss, when we say now, all of these things have been pointed out to the medical commission. That what do you want the athlete to do? Do you want the athlete to actually put her body through this? That is why I told Shubhan today that hypovolemic shock. That read on
Yes.
that. Do you want the athlete to go into that seizure state? You don't want that. This is the Olympic Games. So they have made this representation with a lot more detail. I'll reveal all of the details later. But they have done all this to the medical commission. Now let's wait and see what happens.
So you're telling me that there was no air condition in the rooms, but the gym was air conditioned. What?
Not simply air conditioned. The air condition was so high that unfortunately for Vinesh Fogart, they had to open the windows. They tried everything. But if I put you in an air conditioned studio and ask you
Of
to sweat
course.
immediately, will you sweat? Not possible.
No. It'll take me an hour of workout just to get a good sweat out. But incredible. But Shubhayan and Rohan, like Boria said, the UWW can always say, look, these are the rules. You didn't follow it, so it's your fault. And it's your responsibility that you didn't make the weight. But on the other hand, you also have this, opportunity for the future of wrestling. Maybe you can see a few changes in the rules when it comes to humanitarian grounds. Maybe you can have a bit of leniency in the weight or something like that. Are you looking at this verdict in that sense?
Oh, sorry. Wow, what happened? Yes. The entire debate by UWW, even their president has said one thing only, that that is why we want to play. We want athletes to compete in their natural athletes so that they don't have to take drastic steps to cut down their weight and then put their health at risk. I was watching one interview with some other publications where that UWW president chief said that players take drastic measures, and by the time they reach their 40s and 50s, their health deteriorates so badly, and that is due to these reasons where they are putting their health at risk during their Olympic Games or such mega events. And that is why these rules of having two weigh-ins or putting the weight category in so strictly that these athletes, so that these athletes follow the rules, follow the weight category. For example, there was Hindelbrecht was the one who said that I was cutting down weight since the last 1 year. I was maintaining that weight since the last 1 year, so that I don't have to take any drastic step in the last second. So even Vinesh was Hilderbach was playing, I think, 5 kgs below her natural weight, similarly to what Vinesh was playing. So I think that is where the ambiguity, or that is where the bit of a question mark comes in. What is the safety? Are these safety protocols very clearly stated by UWW, or are you coming out and saying that now in public? That is something I think which should be questioned, because yes, the health of athletes are important, but you have to clearly state that if your natural weight is, for example, 50 kg, you can't reduce 5 kg and play, because that will put your health in risk. So coming out now and saying that we have put in weight categories just for the health and future health of these players, I think that's a last minute statement to save your face. So I'm pretty sure these things will be questioned in the debate, Gargi.
Rohan, what are you thinking about this?
Yes, absolutely. And me and Abhijit were there during Aman Sharawat's bout, and we spoke to his coach. He mentioned how Aman had to reduce 4.5 kgs ahead of the bout. So just think that you are playing a bronze medal match in a Olympic Games, and you don't sleep. You work out throughout the night, 4 5 hours. You cut down on the weight. So think and think of we as journalists, we sleep throughout the night. We get a good sleep because we have to have a long day, but these athletes, they are training overnight, cutting down on the weights, doing gyms, and then doing that bout. So it's incredibly hard for these wrestlers also, and for Vinesh, from 57 to 57 kgs to cut down, it's really difficult. And as you mentioned rightly, that me and Trisha in today's 12 noon video also discuss about this, that whether Vinesh is awarded the medal or not, this will be an historic verdict, because which cha- might bring some change to the laws of the game, because there has to be some flexibility to the laws, because uh, on the day of the final match for Vinesh, there were still 8 hours left for the bout to happen. So why not a bit of relaxation on the time? Give her 2 to 3 hours more, and take the weight at a later stage. So these are the small changes that needs to be done. Every sport has made changes in the recent years to make the game more, uh, what to say, fair for every athlete. So I think there should be some changes, and that change, this decision, whatever will happen today, will bring that changes to the laws of the game.
Absolutely. Abhijit, what are you thinking at this point? This is a question I want to ask Boria as well. Your UWW can always say why it's your fault that you're not fighting in a category that's closer to your natural weight. You know, what do you say that? Because your whole point is defeated there.
See, initially, I would say UWD was right in making the rules of saying, okay, Vinesh has disqualified basis on the 100-gram weight. But then why do you give Susaki a chance if Vinesh is disqualified? Shouldn't it be the other way around? This is a big point, and I think this could be given in favor of Vinesh, because UWW is actually at this moment confused. At one side, you're disqualifying Vinesh by 100-gram overweight, and you allow Susaki in the repechage. Why? Because Vinesh Fogart has reached the final. I mean, come on. Like, you're a world body at that manage everything from world championship, from all the Olympic qualifiers and at the Olympics. This is a big खुद के पैर ही कुल्हाड़ी पे मार लिया. That's what UWD has done now. And now this can actually be a good argument to say that UWD has making mistakes. I was just checking another thing. There was another Italian wrestler as well in the same category, Luisi Iminola. She was not vain, and then her opponent was given walkover. So why? What was the reason? So these are the things which UWD, and then this is the first time that has happened that the weighing was done twice on both the days. I remember at the Tokyo Olympics when Borita were there, the earlier matches were on the the first day, just like the same thing, and the medal matches were the second day. But the weighing happened only the first day. This is the first time that this has happened on both the days. So again, this is a big
Was
question,
it
like
due to
why
COVID, Abhijit, or was it due
it
to
nothing
COVID
has to do with
or
it has nothing to do with
okay.
COVID. I mean, Wayne, like
Mhm.
everyone followed us the protocol what
No, no,
was
to
there.
come out and etc. Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
why you
the rule was implemented 1 year back, Shubhan. This was the
Yeah,
okay,
first international tournament where it happened.
okay.
So that's what Abhijit is trying to say. But
Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
but
his
the,
point is right. UWW, now if I am the athlete who has lost to the Cuban, now I will come and say you've been unfair to me.
yeah,
I should have played the repechage. How is it that I did not play the repechage? I lost to the Cuban. She's the finalist.
Hmm.
Vinesh Fogart is not the finalist. So why should you discriminate against me? I lost to the Cuban. So where is the rule?
Hmm.
Where is the rule? How is the rule sacrosanct?
Yeah.
That's where the problem is here. And if I start to reveal further details again, I mean, I will reveal further details. Like I said, I will give every detail out.
Hmm.
Let the verdict come out because I've promised people. But there are things here. There are things here. I have even been told, boss, you can't push. I think there's a question from Shormishta on this. Let's take that question. I think it was up somewhere. Gargi can take. This is regarding health. I want to ask what lies beyond medals for these athletes who go in for drastic measures. What happens to their gut health, digestion? Absolutely fair point. I mean, look, somebody was asking about Aman and Vinesh. There is You can't equate a man's body with a woman's body. And like I
Can't
told you, she
compare.
was premenstrual. There, how do you sort of compare? You can't compare. You just can't compare. So these are essential points. In the earlier days,
Hmm.
we used to say people would die because of doping. They would die between 30 and 40. Now you are pushing body. How is this fair that you don't eat for days? For 48 hours, you've not had water, you've not had food, you've not had anything. Acha, tell me now. We have not even spoken about this. Tell me now, why did Vinesh lose in Tokyo? It's the same issue. It is the weight issue. She was so disorientated when she went into the bout because of the weight she was fighting in the 53 kilogram then.
Blackout. She was having
Now that
blackout.
he
was
also
not
lost.
finished.
He
She
also
was
lost the
finished because
same.
no. It is completely because of that. Because they were preparing, they had thought that we have to get Vinesh ready for the semi-final final. ये तो पहुंच जाएगी. So the first rounds would be a breeze. So the fact that she has to be hydrated and the recovery meal straight after the weigh-in, all that wasn't done in Tokyo. They were preparing for the semi-final final. She was totally mentally disoriented and got and lost. Now, this time round, they overcompensated. And now, let me make a very controversial statement here. I wish she lost to Susaki. If she lost to Susaki, she would have won the repechage. You know why? Because she would not fight the whole day. The recovery
Hmm.
meal and the multiple hydrations on day one wouldn't happen. She would make the weight. She would 100% make the weight. Because they beat Susaki, she had to fight two bouts within 45 minutes and the semi final that evening. All of the calculations went out of the window. They had to keep hydrating her, keep feeding her, get her back into shape, get her strength for all the bouts. And the 1.5 kilos which they thought will go went up to 2.7 kilos. Everything went out of the window. When I now think, and because I've now heard the whole detail, my heart goes out to this girl. Come on, boss. This is a sport which is draconian. Draconian. I don't want to say more because then I'll reveal more, which I don't want to do. You'll sort of ask more questions of Shubha and Rohan, Abhijit Garge. I will come in for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Shubhayan, like Boria, said right now that she played two bouts in the span of 45 minutes. Why can't we have rules that can allow this sort of situation, because obviously during the bouts Vinesh will be drinking fluids. She will also need to fuel herself. Without sustenance, how will she fight? So why aren't there, in the future, now though whatever has happened, but in the future, why don't we look at specified rules like these? Like, you're putting an athlete in danger because of these rules,
And
essentially.
that is why again the debate of natural weight, play in your natural category so that you don't have, you are relaxed when you are my natural weight is 65. If I stay play in the 65 or even 62 weight category, I can manage 2 3 kgs here and there with strict diet and everything. But if I'm playing 55, then I'll have to take drastic steps. I won't eat the entire day. What happened to Antim Pangal? They starved her for 2 days, and when she was there in the match, she was done in 1.5 minutes, not more than that. So that is where the entire debate of playing in the natural weight category and saying, okay, if your weight is 57, play in the 55. You can manage to play in the 55, but if you go and play in the 50 or 52, then you will have to take drastic steps. Yes, Boryada.
I think
See, Shubhan's point is important, but there are two things here. One,
Hmm.
after Rio, Vinesh had that ACL, so that was, we know, life
Yeah,
threatening
yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
of
And the
course, yeah.
Brazilian doctor actually had said that you have to amputate. Leave that.
Hmm.
When she came back, this time after all the Dharna Sharna and the political this thing, by that time 53 was taken. Antim had already won
Antim
the world
Baza.
championship title and 53 was taken. So what option did Vinesh
Yeah.
have? She had 50 and she had 57. 57 is not her natural body weight. It is 56, 57, 55, 56, 57. You can't win that. There'll be far more stronger wrestlers. She may have qualified. Anshu was there, but she may have qualified and gone. But she would never win a medal. So her only option was 50. Frankly, and she wanted to win the medal desperately because that was a dream. She was actually, somebody told me, वो बचरा वो जिंदा है इस मेडल के लिए. अभिजीत knows, Rohan knows कि वो जिंदा है खाली इस मेडल के लिए. One of the coaches. खाली
Hmm.
इस मेडल के लिए वो जिंदा है. So her option was nothing else but the 50 kilograms. And she had to do what she did. And that is where all these questions of spirit and value and humanitarian grounds and all this come in. I think the medical commission has to take cognizance of all this. Look, even if she doesn't get the medal, no, I think this verdict will have long term ramifications for the sport. It could just change the sport. And Vinesh
But
will become a
Boryada,
practical for her. It changed the sport.
Don't you think the WFI, okay, at that time had the WFI stepped in, it would have created another controversy. But there should be a strict measurement by the National Association also. That boss, your weight is 57 or 60 or whatever it is, you can't come down below that. Otherwise, there will be a health hazard.
No, no. So this is not the WFI call, Chuban. Take the Nisha Dahiya case. Now, Nisha Dahiya was initially told by her coaches, by some people, that Nisha Dahiya, who is generally around 65 kilograms, that you can come to 62 kilos and play that weight category which Sakshi Malik has vacated. But
Hmm.
then her coach and the rest of the support team said, no, no, no. If you come down, because your body weight and body structure is such, if you reduce weight and come to 62, you will be weak. So let's kick your body weight up and we will take you to 68. So this is a
Hmm.
scientific call which the coach and the support team take. So Nisha Dahiya now is actually a 68 kilogram wrestler, not a 65 or a 62 kilogram wrestler.
Hmm.
Varun Gupta is saying rules of 2023 already allow for 2 kg tolerance for all international competitions. Please see Article 8 of
but
2023, but
but
not
that
in
is
the
for
Olympics.
that is not for Olympics.
That's
Yes,
Hmm.
not
that
for
is
the
not for
Olympics.
Olympics.
There's
That's
actually
for
a lot of
wrestling specific tournaments.
discussion about this on Twitter because people are thinking that she had a 2 kg allowance and that she was 52 plus extra, whatever the weight
Hmm.
was. That's not the case. Not at all.
No.
He was 52 plus the day of semi-final after the
Yeah.
bouts happened, if I'm not wrong. And by the time the
52.1.
second weigh-in came in, she had reduced to 50.1.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
50.7 to 52.7
Yeah.
to 50.1. She reduced
Drastic.
2.6 kilos.
That's
She reduced 2.6 kilos, 100 grams overweight. And by the way, I am told the Indians actually caught the feet of the person saying 45 minutes de do, that we'll run here. They said half an hour. Give us half an hour. She will just hydrate and run here because if you keep running
Mhm.
that there and skip for another half an hour, that 100 grams would go. Okay, when she went in, she was 200 grams over. That's when the haircut happened.
Mm.
They were desperate. That's when the haircut happened. She was 200. By the way, they had got a machine which was the same machine as the one that was there in the weigh. So they simulated that. They were continuously checking there. So weight cut. So they were checking there, checking there, checking there. They actually measured it. There was two. So when 6 a.m. in the morning, Vinesh was 200 grams more. So they thought we'll run from here to the vein. If we make her run from here to the vein, or 100-150 gram घट जाएगा, plus the haircut, plus
But
they even cut parts of her clothes.
Yeah.
Can you think if, for example, Gargi's t-shirt or my t-shirt, if I cut the collar, it's still okay. They
Hmm.
even did that kind of thing. They even cut parts of the clothes. It is, I mean, when I start thinking
Unfortunate.
as to what that girl did or was made to do or tried to do, and it's heart wrenching. I mean, she 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 didn't do anything all night. I mean, think, air condition. She's sparring and sauna suit and skipping and jumping, and after a point, she has fought a bout and she's fighting 1 hour with her coach in a sauna suit to reduce weight. Boy, is it worth it?
but Boria, you just mentioned about the scale that been used for the vein. Isn't the same scale that's used for the actual one? Because I spoke to a Guam wrestler. She said we used the same weighing machine, because even if you change the direction of a weighing scale, even by whatever a 1 degree, you can get different weight at a different time, and even at every different time you weigh in, it will be different. So what the Guam wrestler told me, her name was Mia. I forgot her last name. She told me like you can do n number of weighing on the same machine. It is the same one. I think there's a bracket of 15 minutes, and even you can do as much as possible on that.
What you are right about is the number of veins, correct? 7:15 to 7:30 in the morning, you can do 100 veins
Hmm.
allowed. What the machine you're talking about, by the way, let me also tell you this. When an athlete goes in for a weigh-in, she goes alone. No
Mhm.
coach, no support staff, no one. Alone. So Vinesh goes in alone. The machine that was there in the weighing in, they had got a same machine, same company the previous night so that they could simulate it. So that the company was the same, the dynamic was the same, so that they had a clear idea. That's what they were using. That is why at 6 a.m. in the morning, they knew that she was 200 grams over. And then they thought if we run from here to the vein and she skips a bit, it'll reduce, and the haircut and all that, it'll reduce. And then they were praying, like you said, 1 degree, half degree, 100 ग्राम अगर इधर उधर से भगवान ने दे दिया, भगवान नहीं देता है.
Hmm.
So वो 100 ग्राम का हम लोग उसमें फंस गए. They pleaded, Gagan and Dinshaw Padiwala literally caught the feet of the fellow saying आधा घंटा, we will get it done. Obviously rule is a rule, and they said not 1 second extra, and that's when it was over for Vinesh.
And I think these are the things that which needs to be changed and will be changed after today's verdict. These are the small changes which needs to be changed. And seeing these struggles of these wrestlers, especially the wrestlers, where weight categories are very important, is really heartbreaking. That day when Aman Sharawat came out, his coach was almost exhausted. He trained overnight, and he had Ritika Huda the following day. So he had to uh, work out again another night with Ritika Huda. So the coaches also are struggling this much as the athletes. It's really hats off, and missing out on these 100 gram is really heartbreaking.
Absolutely. Varun Gupta has sent us a super chat. So this is his question. He's saying international competition is defined as a competition where 5 countries are present. This category has 8. Article 8 is applicable on Olympics too. This definition is in ancillary rules of UWW. Yes, Gloria.
This is a good point. This is a good point. But if you see, they clarify this as saying World Cup, etc. But the Indians have made this point, and they are actually, I mean, Jordan Burroughs referred to this point as well, saying 1 kilogram should be allowed next morning because this is not cheating, this is nothing. So Varun, you make an important point. But if my point is pretty fundamental here, Varun. If you are throwing rules at me, then go answer to the people who lost to Cuba, that Guzman Lopez, why weren't they allowed to fight the repechage? Answer them. You have denied them of a medal. You have denied or deprived them. How can UWW stand and say we've followed rules? You haven't followed rules. Your own rule. If Vinesh Fogart is a finalist only, then can you say that Susaki can win a medal? So I think India has a ground there. I also think India. I also think the fact that the appeals commissioner, the arbitrator, asked the extra questions which the submissions happened till Sunday tells you that this case is not over for India. Had it been over and done with, you would have thrown the rule book and said dismissed, get lost. That's what it was. Dismissed, done. Going by the rule. The fact that more questions were asked, the fact that the medical commission report was sought, that the fact that more documentation was asked for, the fact that all of this happened gives me hope. I have seen this case getting politicized. I have seen a lot of tweets on this. For me, nothing but India and Vinesh matters. Nothing. Dr. Padiwala is not the one responsible. He has been given death threats also. Dr. Padiwala is an orthopedic surgeon. He's not a nutritionist, not a sports scientist, not a physiotherapist. Dr. Padiwala can't do anything. It is not his responsibility at all. It is the coaches, it is the nutritionist, it is the physiotherapist, it's the athlete. That's the team. I haven't seen a single statement from the coach. I haven't seen a single statement from the nutritionist. I haven't seen a single statement from the physiotherapist. I have seen Viren Raskina come out and clarify. Viren Raskina is not the physiotherapist or the nutritionist or the coach. Yes, he is responsible for putting the team together, but this is not Viren's responsibility. So when he takes the responsibility on himself to absolve some of the others, I don't think Viren is responsible for this at all, nor is Dr. Padiwala. डॉक्टर पार्टीवाला तो दूर दूर तक रेस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है. आईओए का गलती ये था कि पहला दिन जो था ना वो विनेश का डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन के नेक्स्ट डे उन्होंने डॉक्टर पार्टीवाला को सामने डाल दिया. Dr. Padiwala was addressing the media. The country was seeing Dr. Padiwala. So everybody thought, he's the guy responsible. As head of the medical contingent, he's an orthopedic surgeon. How can an orthopedic surgeon do anything about sports nutrition? That is not even his domain.
I think one thing is that the Vinesh has her own nutritionist. The Indian Olympic Association has two nutritionists. One was chief and one was deputy. What was the conversation between, had they the personal nutrition of Vinesh, had they consulted with the chief nutritionist? If not, then why not?
No, they did not. I'll answer that.
Yeah.
They did not. Because the IOA, once they put together the medical team, Aradhana, Dr. Padiwala, ABC, they went to every athlete and suggested that if you have your own team, so Gargi is the athlete, Shubhan is the coach, Rohan is the nutritionist, Abhijit is the physiotherapist, you were given the choice that do you want to go in with your personal team, because we don't want to change the team 2 months ahead of an Olympic Games. You are used to this personal team. We want to go in with your team. Please do. If you want to use our team, we also have our team in front of you for you to be able to use that. So that option and choice was given to every elite athlete, which included Vinesh Fogart. So she was not under compulsion, or her team was not under compulsion to consult anyone. And that is why Dr. Padiwala is not responsible. That is why questions need to be asked of her coach, her nutritionist, and her physiotherapist as to what happened.
Yeah, completely agree. But I think my point is here, Vinesh Fogart is an Indian athlete, and her team is with her for the complete time. Now, when you have an IOA appointed chief nutritionist, they also have a responsibility to check with the nutritionist, the athlete's nutrition, what they are doing. My question is that, has the chief nutritionist or any other, has they reached out and they asked like what has gone, what that should have been come out. I think I'm asking on that. It is also I understand that
I actually don't think that's the case, because the elite athlete will not consult the other nutritionist. She has her team. That's where what Abhijit is saying, her team will think that they know the best of Vinesh, and that's what happened. Unfortunately, that's what transpired there. I think
Yeah.
there's a super chat. Let's answer
Yes,
that super
yes.
chat.
Varun Gupta
Rohan, you
again.
want to take this?
Sorry.
Rohan, do you want to take this? The super
Yeah,
chat.
the biggest mistake which Sanjay Singh made was to apply for deferral of final rather than going for silver, 100% sure on legal grounds. Rohan,
What to say,
I think
Buryada?
Gurida, you
Because
can.
I think you can clarify it more, but I think uh,
Varun, let's put this in context once and for all.
huh.
This is an Olympic Games. There are values. So you are actually saying that Vinesh should have lied, feigned her injury, and gone and said, "Boss,
and
I am injured. Give me the silver medal."
and also
By
I
the way,
think
she
there
will
was a
still
clause,
be
Buryada.
consulted by the tournament doctor. She would still be checked by the tournament doctor. It
Yeah,
is
there
not
was
that
a
if I will
clause.
say I will get it.
Wayne, both
And
both the day
anyone who is
athletes have
saying
to do Wayne.
100% she would have to do the weight,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And then there are some journalists who have actually said this, ki the UWW sources have said that she should have done this. Ramesh, you mean to say the UWW people will tell you don't follow our rules, go lie, and we will give you a medal? Which world are we living in? Which
And,
world
and
are
the
this is the Olympic Games? Yes, Rohan.
and the rule also said that any injury after the bout, after the day of the bout of the semifinals, you have to again you have to anyway give a weight. So that wouldn't have stood. So and this is not a very right thing to do in such a
exactly.
high spirited game. So that's it.
Not only that, you won't
It
be
could
very
be banned for
successful
life.
in it
The
because,
Indian Association
yeah,
could be banned for life. And if any UWW official is saying this, can you imagine what the UWW official would have to face? He would be banned, blacklisted, gone, done, dusted. How can anyone say go cheat? You are actually telling me in the Olympic Games I can cheat. How is this even possible?
Bureda, before you end, what happens if Vinesh the verdict goes against Vinesh? Can she go at a higher court and again carry on
Human
with the
export.
case?
yeah,
She can. She can. She absolutely can appeal to a further court at CAS. But if the verdict goes against her, I think if CAS gives the verdict against her, I think it's the end of story. If you ask me. Will she appeal or not? UWW can. If the verdict goes in favor of Vinesh, UWW can appeal against the verdict to a higher court of caste saying, they've sort of given it against our rule book. But if it goes against Vinesh, will she have an opportunity to appeal? Yes. But will that appeal result in something? Our understanding is no. But we have to see whether she does that or not. By the way, a lot of people are saying that the French lawyers did it pro bono. I was seeing a tweet by Rahul Mehra. Yes, they did it pro bono, and day one we even broke the sequence here that at 3:30 the mail was sent, 3:30, 4 o'clock, saying they have the power of attorney, and the UWW thereafter informed the IOA. But is there a time limit by which time this could be filed? Is there a timeline? I haven't read anywhere that there is a timeline of 12 hours or 24 hours. And I asked multiple lawyers this that have you seen anywhere that there is a time limit to this, that within 24 hours, within 12 hours, you've got to file this appeal? I don't know. I don't know this.
I just like to add there's a case of USA gymnast. She lost her bronze medal. I mean, initially she was fifth at the same Olympics just few days back, and she completed her last floor
I
exercise.
tweeted about that, Abhijit, Jordan
Yeah,
Childs.
yeah. So again, she was late in appealing by a minute or so, and because it
4 seconds. She
yeah
was
yeah
late by 4 seconds, but
yeah.
that is
So that
exactly what we should not use. Why? Because what happened was the US gymnast challenged the Romanian gymnast, saying this is a subjective decision. Now her team challenged it at 1 minute 4 seconds. She was 4 seconds late. Initially, the judgment went in her favor. The Romanians counter challenged it. CAS ruled it in favor of the Romanians, saying the US gymnast is 4 seconds late. So they followed the rule book. They followed the rule book to the T. If we use this in Vinesh Fogart's case, it will be counterproductive and we should not use it. And that is why I said do not sensationalize. I tweeted about it yesterday.
Yeah, what I'm saying
yeah.
is because the US gymnast, it took about a minute. She was last in a performing, so it took about a 1 minute to reach to her to challenge the to the jury members. It takes about a minute to walk from that place. That's why, and then given by 4 seconds, that was what I meant to say.
This is a good point by Varun. This is a very good point by Varun,
Yeah.
that use Article 8 to take benefit of the 2 kg tolerance, apply for deferral of final under interim order. But by the time they had filed the appeal, Varun, it was around 4 p.m. And the first reaction also came, the final was done. That is when they actually changed the plea. If you see, that's when they changed the plea to joint silver. The appellant actually changed the plea to joint silver and did not want to stop the final. That's how
Yes,
the chronology happened, as far as I know, because around 4 p.m. the first mail was sent, and then UWW
4:45,
got
I think.
time. So,
4:45.
so the 4:35 exactly. So by
Yeah.
then, and Rohan was there at the Paris tribunal the next day speaking to people as well. But by then, the final was already done, and they changed the plea to a joint silver.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think we have discussed quite a lot here, and we still have the verdict to hear. After that, we'll be going live once again. But I'd like to take this comment, Shongvid, that the Biswas is saying, Boryada, if the Olympic Committee can appoint a judge who is already guilty of match fixing, then why does the sportsman's spirit only apply to our athletes?
Bhai, FIFA, how many bribery scandals have you seen in FIFA? People were arrested. The Blatter case, the Jack Warner case, how many do I give you? How many cases of bribery have you heard of in the athletics domain? Papa Diak and Lamin Diak, Sebastian Coe cases. Check when Seb Coe cleared it. Go check Papa Diak, and you will know. How many cases of problems have you heard in the Olympic Committee? When now, though the bids are far more transparent. Earlier, there is a term, if I remember right from memory, there is a term in the Olympic circles called the Doha millions. That millions were bribed to the IOC members when Doha wanted to host the Olympic Games. The disappearing Doha millions is the exact term. So nothing of this is new. Nothing is new. Sport and corruption, sport and big money go hand in hand.
Well, we can't do anything about this, unfortunately. But we'll be back around, I think, late night today. We're going to get the verdict, and we'll go live as soon as the decision is out and discuss, whatever will happen, of course. And of course, Boria has some updates to give us as well. Not updates, but details on what went down. Like you said, hour by hour details of what happened that day. But thank you, Boria, Abhijit, and Rohan. Rohan, you enjoy your stay. Boria, you're on
Somebody's
mute.
asked about a political case. Orko, if you could kindly read Shormishta's post on Facebook today, we condemn the Arjikor case in the most harshest manner. We have a daughter, okay, and we are both as concerned as any parent about the fate of our daughter, or any daughter for that matter, that there is in our state at this point in time. So the brutality of the case has left us all completely numb. But this is not the platform. Rev Sports is not a political platform. If you see our independent opinions, we will stand by the thing, we will show solidarity, we will speak out, we will fight, we will do everything. But there is a different platform. Shormishta and Boria, in their individual capacities, will do that. As father and mother will do that. As parents of a young daughter will do that. All of that will be done. Trust me, we are responsible citizens, and we know what we need to do to speak out. But Rev Sports is not the platform to do anything on the Arjikor issue.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Boria, Abhijit, and Rohan for joining us. We'll be back after the verdict is out, so stay tuned to